Do you two want to annoy friends while drawing a whole lot of cards? So Amphimon, just like a lot of blue decks, likes to do the blue things. Draw cards, strip sources, bottom deck, bounce things, and just overall be a hindrance to whatever your opponent's game plan might be if it involves their stack. That being said, it isn't without its weakness. It can still fall apart pretty easy. It does have the potential to OTK or just be a controlling deck in general, but getting into the profile so that we can see those pieces, our A of choice for now is a full set of Wanyamon, just because we're playing a deck that likes to have its tamers, so when we swing, we draw a card. That being said, with BT14 releasing here soon, most likely with my build, I will probably do like a 4-1 split of 4 Bukamon, and then one of the Wanyamon, because Bukamon just synergizes really well with the deck to give jamming on swing as another extra way to get to it. Now, going into our level 3s, we're going to start with Mondoki Betamon. It's our only Floodgate rookie to block memory. This probably could be switched soon for Sukamon. I'm always bad at pronouncing that one's name. Just to block the options from reducing the Digivolution cost, as well as anything else that might reduce the cost. Or it could be fine to do a 1-1 split. Going into our actual Jellymons now, we're running a full set of the BT13 Jellymon. It has a V that doesn't really come up. It could potentially, but then we're mostly running it for the Jellymon name as well as the inheritable of when attacking, not a once per turn. Trash the bottom Digivolution card of one of your opponent's Digimon. So like I said, more source stripping is one of the things that this deck really likes to do. And then our key Jellymon, the Resurgence Booster Jellymon. It's our searcher, so on play, flip top 3, add a card with Jellymon in its text and 1 Kyosho. Bottom deck the rest, and then the inheritable, your turn, once per turn when one of your effects trashes a card in your hand, gain a memory. There's a lot of things that will proc this inheritable, but there's so many things you can grab from this, be it any of the line, the 3 through 6, 2 of the tamers if you really wanted to, or even Starling Thunder. And going into the last of our Jellymons, I'm only playing 2 of the promo, mostly because I only have 2, but I also feel that the ratio is okay enough with it at 2 to trigger the when attacking if you have a Kyosho to draw a card. I would like to see the other ones a little bit more than the draw because of how many cards you actually go through in this deck as is already, such as our first level 4, that being the 4 of BT13 Tesla Jellymon. Much like the Jellymon itself has the inheritable when attacking, not once per turn. Trash the bottom Digivolution card of one of your opponent's Digimon. So just more source stripping, and then if you really need to swing with it, you get to draw a card. Going into our next one, and just like the one before it, the Resurgence is probably the key one that we really want to see. It gains us memory just like the Jellymon when a card is trashed from hand, but when Digivolving, we can play a Kyosho from hand for free. So free tamer, memory, what's not to like? And then going into the last of our level 4s, first up is another Jellymon, 2 of the BT9 Jellymon, for its end of attack, once per turn, trash 2 cards in your hand to unsuspend its Digimon. Just the potential to high roll and get a lot of swings going with the Jellymon is great. If the ways that we can give jamming, like I said, Bukamon upcoming as well as the Kyosho Tamer, that gives jamming. It can help just get a whole lot of checks in one turn. And then we are playing blue tamers, so blue hybrid for game. more often than not, you will not be using that Digivolving effect, but if you do, you can pseudo create a stack and go. Now for our level 5s, I'm playing 2 of the BT10 Amphimon. When Digivolving, if you have 6 or fewer cards in hand, draw 2 cards. Sometimes it comes up, not all that often though. It's when attacking once per turn, if you have 8 or more cards in hand, by trashing 2, unsuspend this Digimon. Compare it with the BT9 Tesla Jellymon to get, if you swing, you give jamming with Kyoshiro, or if you have the egg, if we're talking BT14 here in a few weeks, swing, have jamming, unsuspend, Digivolve, and if you're able to swing or draw some cards, and then swing some more. But that is the big key reason for that one. More often than not, once you see either the 3 of Amphimon from BT13, it's a Warp Digivolver, so if you really need to. But it also has the end of attack by returning 3 cards with a Jellymon in their text from your trash to the bottom of your deck in any order, unsuspend this Digimon. That effect is incredibly helpful. Coming up soon with the Amphimon meta and all of the shenanigans it likes to do, as well as just keeping fuel going into your deck. And then the Resurgence Booster 3 of Amphimon. When Digivolving, you may trash up to 2 blue cards in your hand for each one. Trash 1 card from your opponent's Digimon or Tamers. And then, until the end of your opponent's turn, one of their Digimon or Tamers without cards under it can't suspend. This can help block Tamers. This can help strip sources to set up for other plays. And then it also has the unsuspend clause so that we can be more aggressive and not just source stripping. Now, going into our level 6s, we're only playing 2 of the promo Amphimon. When Digivolving, trash up to 3 blue cards in your hand. For each one, you may trash any 1 card from under your opponent's Digimon or Tamers. Then until your opponent's turn, one of their Digimon or Tamers without cards can't suspend. So instead of saying can't unsuspend, like how green tends to do, just like, yeah, you can't swing. So it's a good stun card in that regard, if you're able to. And then opponent's turn once per turn. When an opponent's Digimon attacks, by returning 3 cards with Jellymon in their text from your trash to the bottom in the attack. It's a good little control piece, but I would much rather see the 4 of Resurgence Booster Amphimon. Reason being is when attacking and when Digivolving, they're not once per turns. You can do this multiple times to pitch cards, 2 blue cards from your hand to source strip from your opponent, and then you may return one of your opponent's Digimon with no Digivolution cards to the bottom of their deck. So this can help set up your protection plays because it also gives all turns once per turn. When one of your blue Digimon would be deleted by returning 3 cards with a Jellymon in their text from your trash to the bottom of your deck in any order, prevent its deletion. So you get a little bit of protection, can be a little bit more aggressive with some of your swings. You get some control aspects by source stripping and bottom decking. And then, just like there is Hybrid for game, there's also Amphimon for game. I really don't need to say anything about the Blitz Omni. You get your opponent down to no sources, or no cards in their security, and then swing for game. But going into our Tamers, we're playing 2 of the BT9 Kyoshiro. It is the Memory Setter. Your turn, when you attack with a Digimon that has Jellymon in its name, or is level 5 or higher, if you have 7 or fewer cards in your hand, you may suspend this Tamer and draw a card. It's just some card draw if we see it, but it's a Memory Setter for the most part. And then we're playing 2 of the Resurgence Kyoshiro. All turns, when one of your Digimon with Jellymon in its text or an opponent's level 5 or higher Digimon attacks if you have 7 or fewer cards in hand by suspending this tamer and draw a card. So just another way to draw cards. It's just your opponent can trigger it too. And then your turn, when this tamer becomes unsuspended, gain a memory. So if your opponent swings, you tap these guys, draw some cards, they unsuspend, you gain 2 memory. And then to round out our set of 7 tamers is the promo Kyoshiro. It helps that it was just reprinted. But your turn, when one of your Digimon with Jellymon and its Digivolution cards attacks, by suspending this tamer, that Digimon gains jamming in for the turn. So just, cool. Keep jamming, and then let's swing some more. It lets you safely attack. Now, going into our options, we're not playing too many. We're playing 1 blue memory boost to flip 4, find a card, and then just have it later for memory. And then the ones that are kind of flex spots, you can play around with ratios and different things how you like. But I like playing 2 Starling Thunder and 2 Sorai. They both kind of serve similar purposes. Sorai is going to source strip cards and then give you a protection from anything swinging at you that has no sources. This is great for the Royal Knight match, as well as a few other matches to save you. And then Starling Thunder may only bounce level 4s, but it can also bounce tamers so that you can get some extra disruption. Maybe you're playing against Cross Hearts or I'm playing Hunters, and you go Starling Thunder, bounce this, and then let's get rid of this stack entirely. With all the tamers that are running rampant, it can help slow down your opponent. But that is the profile. Let's get to the shuffle. Alright, so let's get into it with the shuffle. As always, our roll is a 17. Opponent's roll would be 1. We're definitely starting first then. Let's get our shuffle in. And I've been curious about something too. What do people actually prefer to roll to start for turn? I know the most common is the 2d6s, but I always just prefer 1d20. Alright, so let's see if this is going to be a keep or a mulligan hand. As always, we'll do a mulligan as well, regardless of the state of the hand. Sometimes you get hands that are quick mulligans, and we'll see if those can be played through. Alright, that feels like a good shuffle. Alright, so R5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we've got, that is Amphi Tesla. Whew. Security for this would be Jelly, Tesla, Kyoshiro, Jelly. That is. Yeah, this is definitely a mulligan hand because we're on the play. The best we can do is hard play to 5 for our opponent, who could then play or evolve in the back, do a whole lot of different things, have multiple ways to just set us to 1, or we're going to be hurting. We would also lose out on the Digivolution, and our draw for turn would be a blue memory boost. So let's mold this back real quick. There was absolutely zero things in that hand that could be playable or workable. And Jellymon's got a lot of potential going forward, I feel. You get some really good cards coming in BT14. It's got an okay matchup depending on how things go and what you have in hand versus Amphimon, seeing as you have so many ways to tuck things back into your deck and then to try to slow down the mill, as well as strip sources from them. 4 and 5 to Also slow down the mill. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Alright, so this time it's Amphi, Jelly, Jelly, Tesla, Tesla. Okay, this is a lot better. We got a couple different plays we can do. So we're just going to do the whole standard one. In this case, we'll evolve a Jelly, draw a Tesla, hard play another Jelly, to flip Madoki, flip Jelly, flip Thetis. And we are indeed missing a level 5, so we'll take the Thetis, bottom deck them like that. Opponent does their thing. Let's say they just pass us over to 1. We draw. Maybe you don't necessarily want to really fully commit anything at the moment. We don't have a Kyosho in hand yet. Don't really want to give up the when attacking Jelly this early, so just go into a draw 1, draw another Tesla, pass over to 1. Opponent's going to do their thing. Let's say they promote out and they check the first one. Well, something's getting bounced now. That might necessarily end their turn to where we can get pushed over to 2. We draw another Tesla. Promote out. This is also showcasing some of the benefits of the on plays versus not having the on plays. So if we were to evolve into this Tesla, we would draw. We're not hitting the Kyosho, so we can swing this one. Actually, with what we have going on right now, we can do this instead. We climb to our Thetis for 3. We draw an Amphi for turn. Okay. So Thetis, if we have 6 or fewer, we get to draw some cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Unfortunately, we would not be able to trigger that. This is also the Thetis that I feel comes out for the Zudomon. Alright, our opponent gets to do their thing at 3. Let's say, you know, they have a way to remove this stack, that sucks. And then they clear 1, 2, 3. Well, those are pretty good for us. Maybe we can do some things. And let's say we just get pushed over to 2. Alright. So we draw. We've got our Amphimon. We hatch our egg. Crack our blue memory boost. We're going to go up to 4. Alright. So now we've got a couple different things we can do. We're going to start by swinging. We'll give jamming with our Kyosho. And then we've got some effects to trigger. We're going to trigger the Wanyamon to draw a card. There's another Kyosho. We don't necessarily need more with what we have. And since it does have the Jellymon in text for the protection, we can pitch 1. And then we don't really need all these Amphimons, but we kind of want to keep this one just in case. So we'll pitch 1 Amphimon to restand. That's going to trigger our Tesla Jelly and our Jellymon. So we're going to go from 4 memory to 6 memory. We're going to check the first one with jamming. Assume that we have that, you know, safely covered. Then we go into our Amphimon, draw a card, or a cost of 4. So we're now at 2 memory. And don't you love how that works out? Off the draw, we get the Thetismon. But we are in a position now where we can start messing with boards. We can start bottom decking things. Start stripping sources. And just kind of hope that that's enough. Maybe our opponent is in a position where we can you know, from evolution here, let's say we drop this one and another one of these to strip some sources. We swing, we don't need to strip too much more, so we go with a Tesla, and you know, we'll just go ahead and get rid of these ones just so we can have the safety net. We can now bottom deck from source stripping, and then if that thing was high enough to where we can buy ourselves a turn, we can then Starling Thunder, pass over to 2, bounce a Tamer, bounce a level 4 or lower, and be in an okay position where we can protect. More so with this, want to have the tempo to either pop off or do a little bit of controlling. But that is the deck. Like always, any deck can brick, any deck can go nuts if it sees the right sequence of cards. That's why we all pray to RNGesus to bless our draws, as it were. But we still have the Digigauntlet going on. We're currently playing through Digimon World 2, the grind fest of a dungeon crawler that game is, over on Twitch TV/Gentaxis. If you want to come hang out, by all means, please feel free to. If you want to leave a like, leave a like. If you want to leave a dislike, leave a dislike. Comment if you liked, comment if you didn't. Subscribe if you're feeling up to it. We also have the VOD channel where we're trying to get some stuff in order. But take care.